Hello to all of my Asian, Brazilian, Hispanic, African American, Lebanese, Iranian, Russian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, white, Irish, Australian, Greek, Italian, and the list goes on, because I have been blessed to be surrounded by so many non-Armenians. But where I have realized I messed up in the last week is where I stopped at I am Armenian when asked who I am. This is hummus when explaining our Armenian food. Or no, I don't live in Glendale when asked where I'm from. Instead, I never did the extra work and shared fun cultural facts like we created the color TV or the MRI scanner or the ATM machine or even the darn waffle cone. I have spent the last week calling my non-Armenian friends one by one, heartfully explaining the Armenian history just the way I was taught by my grandparents and the Armenian school I attended from the age of 4 to 10 years old. Like many others, I was hoping that Turkey would have ceased fire by now, but that's not the case, and that's why I am here talking to you guys. And that's why I'm just not posting a boxed square full of information that I assume you guys would read. To some of you, you didn't know what an Armenian was until you met me or followed me. Or for some of you, when introduced that I was Armenian, you thought you misheard me for Albanian or Romanian. Now, if I got really lucky and you guessed that I was Armenian, it was only because my last name is pretty darn close to Kardashian. Now, I don't blame you. I understand. You weren't taught our history. It wasn't a priority in your history classes. But now is the time to become aware and knowledgeable of what is going on with your fellow Armenian people. I guess we can start with my name. Payzar Jacqueline Karadjian. Payzar is an old traditional Armenian name, and it means sunrays. I'm named after my grandmother, who is a child of a genocide survivor, which is what this video is about, but we'll get to that in a minute. Many of you may not know that there is a country between Azerbaijan and Turkey. That's where Armenia is. Thousands of years ago, the world was separated because of religion. Armenia was one of the countries amongst those that was separated. Armenia, fun fact, is the first country to have adopted Christianity, which leads me to the first Armenian genocide that took place in 1915. Similar to the Holocaust, 1.5 out of 2 million Armenians were massacred, raped, skinned, burnt alive, and some Armenians were forced to the Syrian Desert, which left many starving to death. So, why did this happen? The Ottoman Turks were already feeling threatened because their country was surrounded by Christian dominant countries. So, keeping in mind that the Turkish people are predominantly Muslim. When they heard that Russia and Armenia were in the talks of creating an alliance, the Ottoman Turks were again feeling threatened because that meant that Armenia would have the alliance of Russia. And up until today, we know that having the alliance of Russia for any country is huge because Russia is huge and the power they come with is huge. So the goal of the Ottoman Empire was to completely eradicate the Armenian race off this planet. However, luckily, thankfully, and clearly, as I stand before you, they failed. The genocide was the greatest hardship in the Great War. We took pride in our sea-to-sea country. And until this day, the genocide is still being denied. It took the U.S. over 100 years to recognize the Armenian genocide. On December 12th, 2019, for the first time, U.S. passed a resolution that recognized 1915 as the genocide that was a mass execution of Armenians. However, when referring to the genocide, presidents like Trump, Obama, Clinton, and other former presidents have referred to this as the mass execution, not the term genocide, because of our ties with Turkey. So I bring you guys to today. In the beginning of July, the Turkish president, in lack of better words, stated that he is going to finish what his ancestors started in 1915, but yet still denies that the 1915 genocide ever happened. So my question to him, along with thousands and millions of other people, is, Mr. President, how do you finish something that you claim never happened or even started? What are you doing? What are you hiding? But we know what you are doing, and we know what you are hiding. You are hiding our beautiful churches on our beautiful lands in your other Muslim country. Which brings me to right now. The other Muslim country is Azerbaijan. You will see on this map Nagorno-Karabakh, which I grew up referring to as Karabakh. We even in Los Angeles have a Armenian meat market called Karabakh. Karabakh was placed under the control of Azerbaijan by Soviet authorities such as Stalin. During this time, 95% of the Karabakh population was Armenian and still is, had Armenian currency and still does, and spoke the Armenian language and still does till this day. However, due to two wars between 1988 and 2016 and no agreement made, Karabakh is an independent state. On July 12, 2020, Azerbaijan broke the ceasefire agreement, but this time at the border of Armenian property, as mentioned above being Karabakh. The Azeris have been then since just hanging on the low, kind of as we like to call it nowadays, and then out of the blue attacked Armenian people again on September 27th. First of all, if this is your land, why are you attacking your own people? Why don't you just sit down and talk? That brings me to, since then, Turkey has refused to stop fighting until Karabakh is theirs. They haven't responded to any president trying to make things better. Basically, the Turkish president, the dude, he's not down to talk his feelings out. However, his Hitler mindset is costing us our brothers and sisters, two of them being my cousins in the front lines. These kids, young adults, most of them younger than me, are the kids that our great-grandparents and great-great worked so hard to bring to this world and raise after the genocide. Did you know that at one point, as an Armenian wife, your only obligation was to have children, just so they can increase the Armenian population? That's why both my great-grandparents had at least 7 kids and at the most 11. We as Armenians have worked for over 100 years to remain and spread our culture on this earth. But overnight, with how outnumbered we truly are, and I wish I wasn't saying we were outnumbered, but you guys, there's no way of even hiding this. What our ancestors, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents worked so hard for, the Turks and Azerbaijani people are able to massacre. Keep in mind, our brothers and sisters are going and signing up for this war like it's the 1920s, signing your name, and 2 days later it's your goddamn funeral. While Turkey is sending paid terrorists because, again, this was planned. If we don't stand up for the Armenian people together, your one Armenian friend, neighbor, busmate, co-worker, employee, whoever that is, that human may not have a homeland to go back to. Fun fact, I was supposed to go to Armenia this summer for the first time. Double fun fact, if we don't get our shit together, I may not have an Armenia to go back to next summer to visit for the first time. The unfortunate goal of the Turkish and Azeri people is to take over all of Armenia, which is what they had initially attempted in 1915, and they are back to ideally finish. But what they don't know is that we have already hachteld. Not hachteluing, guys. We have already won. And if you guys don't know what that means, just read this. So, with the technology and resources we have now, I don't think there's any excuse to really not know what's going on. Again, it's happening during some really pivotal times like the elections, but that's kind of ironic that they are trying to get rid of the first Christian country during elections while nobody knows what's going on. And again, keep in mind, like I said in the beginning of my video, what initially separated the world was religion. So we are just going back in time. So what's most important now is that as my follower, you know about this. Which brings me to the ways you can help. I'll of course be sharing consistent ways on my stories and add links to my bio. But I do need your help. First, before even asking for financial help, even though war does cost $30 to $40 million a day, I do understand why would you fund something if you have no awareness or don't know what's going on. So, aside from this video, do your own research and bring it up on the dinner table. Like I said earlier, none of my friends that I called within the last 10 days knew what was even going on. Second, if you see a post and it resonates with you, like, share, comment, tag friends. If you like this post in specific, same thing, whatever it is, you don't need to be doing it to 500 different posts. Sometimes one post makes the same effect as 500 different posts. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for watching this video, for taking your time and listening to me. If you guys have any questions, anything at all, please feel free to DM and comment, and don't forget to share and spread awareness. Thank you very much.